in case you just.
Okay.
But carry on.
Okay.
Sure.
That one says the footage was really dark.
I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch it.
I had to do a little bit of editing that I didn't know was possible to really make it even light enough to be worth posting on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, folks? Here for another live stream. We got the whole crew tonight.
Really dark. 2/3 of the crew.
Actually, wouldn't it be, yeah, you're right. Never mind. Good math.
You want to
You
challenge
haven't
myself
quite
to
done
grade
finger
math,
counting
Jordan?
yet.
Unless you aren't including yourself anymore, of course.
Oh, I just honestly I forgot we had a sixth member. What's up, Duckalope? What's up, Tim? Tygoom. How's it going?
Your live stream is not showing up.
Yeah, I'm not seeing this live stream.
Oh yeah, well I made it private for.
I'm gonna.
It's only for true fans.
We're not VIP.
I don't get notifications anymore. You got to go into videos and it's page under videos.
What's up, Daddy Duck 365?
Yeah, where's it at?
What's up, Virginia Outdoors Unlimited? Hey, welcome. We got a new guy here tonight. What's up, Earl? What's up, Marsh Madness? Howdy, Jim. Thanks for joining us. We're about to get going here live, recording the podcast. What's up, High Prairie Sportsman? Another new guy.
What's up?
Another new face to the
Links
channel.
Are out.
All right. Elliot, you recording?
Yep.
Okay.
Let me stop it and restart it because I've been recording for a while. Start a fresh one. Metronome off. It's like on by default all of a sudden. It's on and rolling.
Sweet. What's going on, folks? Thanks for joining me for another episode of the Duck Gun Podcast. I'm Jordan from Duck Gun Chronicles. Got my co-host, the grayest Summer Elliott you've ever met, here early this year. And our guests for tonight, two Flyaway members. We got Thomas from Virginia Outdoors Unlimited and Matt from High Prairie Sportsman. How are you doing tonight, fellas?
Can't complain too much.
Doing well.
Awesome. Well, it's pretty cool to get the group back together. I know we actually talk quite often here lately. So, but this one will be on the record, so you guys are gonna have to reel it in a little bit.
We don't need to be spilling too many secrets about our 1 a.m. convos.
Oh yeah. Hey, we got Elliot Snyder in the chat too. That's a new one.
Yeah, well, that's weird because it has my FTH beside me. Yeah, there's me. That's me. I've officially given out my last name. Thanks for broadcasting that to the world there, Jordan.
Well, sorry. It's the price you pay for being famous, I guess.
So for those of you that don't get the Summer Elliott thing, as being a teacher, I have a completely different personality most of the time during the summer than I do during the school year, right, Jordan?
Yeah, during the summer, you take a lot closer shots, whereas during season they're a lot further out, stretched out there a little bit more. That's the biggest difference I see between summer and non-summer Elliott. You don't even know how to respond.
Well, it's nonsensical.
It wasn't supposed to be.
Someone said in the chat thing I sound like a robot. Is anyone else out there listening? Is my voice sound mechanical or something?
I mean, not any more than usual, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
For those listening on the live stream, we actually have way better audio on the podcast version. We just do this over the phone to get everybody's audio in for, the behind the scenes of the podcast. But when we release it, we have the audio recorded on each one of our PCs spliced together. So that's probably a little bit more information most people want, but just kind of to throw it out there. So if it's a little robotic on the live stream, we're okay with that. But yeah, so for the listeners, I know how your season's gone, Matt and Thomas. But let's go ahead and review it a little bit. Let's go ahead and start with Matt. How's your season been?
Well, I'm kind of suffering from duck depression right now, but we had a really good season. Numbers wise, it was my best season yet, but the abundance of water here in Nebraska this past fall, it really made it tough hunting, especially in the sandhills. But overall, not too bad. Can't really complain about. We shot a bunch of ducks, not as many geese.
Mm. Well, what were your numbers at?
Actually, I have my journal right here, so I can tell you. Had individually, I had 107 ducks, 21 geese, and then group total 337 ducks, 76 geese.
That's pretty good. That's a good season.
What's your per hunt number on that?
I think I ended right at 60 hunts.
60 hunts.
Jeez.
So,
Okay.
Getting out there.
Were you under 2 ducks a hunt?
That'd been right above, right?
No, 60
yeah, it'd be 2.5 or so, something like that.
Well, 100 ducks and 60 hunts isn't 2.5. What am I missing?
Well, I'm talking group total.
What was your
Okay.
What was your duck and goose numbers again? I think that's what Elliot missed.
107 personal ducks, and then was it 20 something geese?
Oh, I was asking what his
21 geese.
20. Yes, 128 total.
Yeah.
At 60.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's just above 2. Yep. That's good numbers. I'll take that.
I was talking ducks.
You can't include geese in your per bird hunt numbers?
Remember? No, remember they don't count. Geese don't count.
Spoken like a true purist.
I just think I'm a duck first guy. What can I say?
I don't know, man.
That's bias.
Jordan, you just say that because up in Indiana, all you guys can kill is city park and golf course geese. So you're just like so emotional about it. Because you only see a few ducks from time to time.
It's rough, man. It's rough.
His daughter feeds them in the at night, beds them, and then Jordan hunts them in the morning.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
What do you guys think about actual goose hunts on golf courses? I got a friend that did one, and they were actually dropping geese on putting greens. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
I mean, that'd be interesting. At least you'd have some unique, like, instead of like saying take them, you could say like 4 or something like that. I don't know.
Would you do it if you had the opportunity?
I think Jordan.
I would, yeah.
How many times did you do it before you declined the offer? In a single season, how many times would you say yes before you said no?
It would not be my first option, but if it was between that and not hunting, I would do it. So
it's like 15 times you would just say yes every time.
If that was like literally I didn't have any birds anywhere, like that was the only 20 birds in the state, and that was the only option I had, I would do that opposed to hunting, and I do it every time.
No, but what about your current situation as is? Okay, you know you can shoot them on a golf course over a putting green. You know you'll do well, but you've got your regular hunts, that you currently do. Let's say you're going to average 4 birds a hunt doing it on the golf course, versus, what did you do, about 2.5, and you got over and over you're asked, you can do the golf course. How many times do you hunt the golf course versus do your regular hunts?
Probably not very many.
Okay.
Depends how many
You might do a
bands.
couple and then be like, nah, okay, I did it a couple, I killed a
Yeah.
puke,
It would.
but I want to go back to my normal.
Yeah. No, it's
freelancing.
way more fun doing it out there in the wild, I would say, opposed to like a golf course where it's not. I mean, but definitely, I'd like if they had like a bunch of bands on the golf course, because you see them on golf courses. That'd be tempting. Just for the kicks of it. And it'd kind of be a unique way of doing it, but definitely not like. I'm glad that that's not what hunting is normally.
What about you, Thomas? What do you think?
I think I do it a couple times. I kind of equate it to like trout fishing. Like I think everybody loves trout fishing on like real streams, but like when it comes down to it, you'll fish around. I fished around a little urban pond this afternoon. You'll do what you have to do to catch a few trout sometimes, but I don't think it's going to be most people's first option. Yeah.
Elliot's
Matt, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably do it like once or twice, but I like to get away from cities and people when I'm out hunting. And I think just hunting a golf course, you'd see buildings in the background, you'd see a lot of man-made crap, and I don't know. I just want to really enjoy it. I mean, it'd be fun to get on and do it once or twice, but ultimately, I'd probably pick somewhere else.
So here's the real question: when are you gonna invite us to this golf course, Elliot?
It's thank you who told me they did. I'm pretty sure it's Philip, my duck carver guy, that did it. I've never been invited, but I did get. Here's what I was invited to do. I got this doctor friend. This was a couple of years ago, and it was about this time of the year. And he's like, "Hey, Elliot, my friend owns this pond. It's this really rich guy in town that owns this pond. He's got this goose problem, and they're telling him that all the crap in the water is causing problems for the fish or something. He's like, he wants to know if he'll go out there and kill them." Well, actually, this was later in the spring when like geese actually had goslings and stuff. I'm like, well, number one, I was like, first of all, are you want me to kill the goslings too? I'm not gonna kill any goslings. And it's illegal, and I'm not gonna do that either. So no, tell your friend, I'm not gonna do it illegal. I'm certainly not gonna slaughter goslings. And so I got banned from fishing that pond. It's a good pond too. He's like, my doctor friend thinks too. He's like, yeah, my friend said you can't fish the pond anymore. Like, okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's I mean, honestly, it's not a tough situation. I was about to say it, but yeah, you're right. It's illegal. There's nothing you can do about it. You can get in way more trouble than losing a fishing spot.
Yeah. Even if there's not goslings involved, I'm not doing it that season. It's just, it's the risk reward. All my decisions in life are risk reward based. It's like, okay, the reward of going on a goose hunt out of season versus the penalty of getting caught. It's like, okay, obviously that's a no. The reward is just not worth it.
Yep. Yeah. So, jumping to Thomas, how was your season?
It was lackluster at best. We really suffered here from a lack of weather. So our September season, we just didn't have a lot of water at that point. So the geese were, I guess, really concentrated. But they also weren't hitting fields because we had a late cut. So September was kind of a wash. Typically, we did a few good September hunts. And then duck season, we just had just absolutely no weather pretty much from the beginning to the end, which made it really tough. And then late June season was pretty much a wash as well with no geese around. So it was overall definitely the toughest season condition-wise that I've faced so far.
Yeah. One thing that was interesting about your season, and I know I watched your end of the season kind of review video, but you did get some different species than you normally get. With the Gadwall and black duck kind of showing up more than usual. So I guess talk about that, and do you have any kind of theories on why that is?
Yeah, so those basically there's two spots in particular that are kind of my two favorite spots. They're always where I see the most amount of birds, And those spots have always been predominantly mallard spots. I'd say typically I can go in there and there's typically going to be anywhere from like 300 to 500 mallards. This year, the mallards never showed up in there. There might have been 100 mallards, and those mallards were replaced in about equal numbers by gadwalls and blackducks. I don't know if that's maybe due to the Atlantic flyway, just mallard population declining. I find that hard to believe given that it was kind of such a sudden shift from mallards to gadwalls and blackducks. But they just showed up. I don't really have any rhyme or reason. I kind of think maybe they're birds that typically would have gone further south, but we just never had the weather to push them south. I know gadwalls typically winter a little bit further south than Virginia and our area. So that's kind of my theory behind that. Maybe just the weather never got around to pushing them real far down south.
So here's a question for anybody, but kind of with the gadwall numbers, if I'm remembering this right, when they did their count this year and the last year, weren't gadwall quite a bit up from their long-term average?
Yeah, that's what I've seen. That's what there's like a separate Eastern survey that's done, and the Eastern gadwall numbers have been up. Everybody I've talked to around here who's been hunting 10, 15 years has said the gadwall numbers have been kind of steadily building, and this year seemed to kind of really peak.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's interesting too, because I live on the Mississippi Flyway, but that's further east than any of the other Flyway members besides you. But this year we've never, as long as I've been hunting, we never have killed a gadwall. We just don't get them. We get mallards predominantly as our ducks, and then some wood ducks as well. But you kind of think as the big ducks kind of having a more standard migration than wood ducks. But kind of on the big duck subject there, with the gadwalls, we killed them on two separate hunts. We worked flocks of gadwall and we killed one each time. But I just thought that was kind of interesting hearing that on your season numbers as well, getting quite a few gadwalls, and then we had a couple pop up, and that's a trend I'd love to see continue. For years to come. It's kind of cool getting those one off on the gadwalls mixed in with our mallards. But I know also, Matt, aren't you you're not a fan of gadwalls?
Yeah, from a taste perspective, no, not really. There's a lot better eating ducks out there than a gadwall, but they're not a bad duck.
Mm.
I don't know, not my first choice for something to shoot.
I kind of feel like it's.
Have you done a side by side on a taste test with gadwalls and other ducks, or what has caused you to get that perspective that they don't eat as well? Because I can tell you when I eat duck, it just always tastes like duck to me.
I don't know. I've had gadwall. I made it like specifically gadwall. I made it a whole bunch of different ways, like fajitas, shish kebabs with other ducks, and you could just tell when you bit into the gadwall, like you could tell that was a gadwall for whatever reason. Maybe it was just where they were feeding here, but yeah, I just haven't had good experience eating gadwall other than jerky.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you actually have some identifiable evidence to back that claim up. That like, I know this was gadwall, I know this is, versus some guys just like, and I know you're not that type, but some people just say it.
I don't know. He might be.
No. He's way too level-headed for that.
Thomas, what were you saying?
Matt, do you think that they eat different things than the other ducks around you? Like, or have you when you scout them or feed them, do you see them feeding like in different areas or with different birds and typical than like other sorts of puddle ducks? Do you just have I don't know, I'm just kind of wondering if you've seen any behavior that you would think would make them be more prone to not taste as good.
No, not really. We usually see them the same places. We see pintail, mallard, teal, wood duck, stuff like that. So I don't really know. I haven't shot many gadwall this year, and the ones I have gone into jerky. So I haven't tried one, grilled up or anything for a year or two after having that experience with them several times in the past.
Mm. Sounds like a placebo effect.
A little bit of different taste than other ducks as far as what they do like. I know if you find a pond with a lot of duckweed on it, gadwalls love that stuff more than other puddle ducks do. So they must have some little different taste to their preference than others. I know they love duckweed.
Yeah, that was my observation as well. Like, there's one big lake where I live where you get tons of divers and coots out there, and gadwalls are the only puddle duck that you see consistently mixed in with them. And when you shoot gadwalls out there, they taste like way worse than if you shoot a mallard out there or any sort of big duck, because they're eating a lot of the same food that the divers are. And then I also kind of saw that in the same spot where I saw all the black ducks this year. Like, the black ducks feed in a distinctly different area than the gadwalls in that swamp, and the black ducks always taste better.
Definitely interesting. But yeah, so what you guys got coming up? I know we've talked about this a little bit as well, but let's go ahead and talk about that a bit.
Well,
You wanna go next?
yeah, I guess I'll start. We got turkey season. Actually, a week from today, archery starts. I don't know. I guess it depends on my work situation as to if I'm going to knock the dust off my bow or not. But I'm going to get 3 turkey tags, probably with a shotgun, and do some turkey hunting, and then walleye fishing coming up here soon, too. So that's what my month, like April, looks like.
Yeah, definitely be cool to see some attempts with the bow in your videos.
Yeah, it'd be more of a blooper reel, I think, than anything.
I can't think of a better reel to see, to be honest. So is there? I mean, what's the likelihood? Are we going to see that or no?
I don't know. Like I said, it depends on what happens with my work situation. So, you know, if I have some time off for whatever reason, then maybe I'll be able to practice more. But if not, it's probably just gonna be shotgun.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll vote for time off then.
That's my vote.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys got the update, but Elliot got time off.
School's canceled.
Yeah, it's all about the Kansas schools.
Yeah. I heard, and there's so many rumors going around, but the most recent rumor I heard coming from someone that says they know what they're talking about is they're talking about a nationwide 2-week isolation or whatever the word I'm looking for everyone.
Quarantine.
Yeah.
How's that gonna?
But you know the rumors.
How's that gonna help though?
How's it gonna help?
It's just like everybody's not gonna. I guess nobody's gonna be infected after 2 weeks. Is the thought?
Yeah. The big thing is overwhelming the hospitals is what is their big concern. Is if it balloons and the hospitals get overwhelmed and that's kind of one of the biggest concerns. And so if you can stop that from happening, then if someone has a heart attack, they can actually go in and get some regular medical service.
I just find that hard to believe they'd do that, but maybe.
I wouldn't have guessed that they would cancel school for the next 9 weeks when they could have just done it 2 weeks at a time. I mean,
yeah,
I don't get that at all. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. Why say 9 weeks when you can just do 2 weeks? Why? I mean, they shut down restaurants in basically the whole Kansas City metro area when there's like 10 cases in the whole metro. I mean, who would have thought they'd do that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, what we think they're going to do is not necessarily what they're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So
you guys got all the toilet paper you need?
I'm down to 2 rolls. I can't find any anywhere. Not.
George just uses his beard. He's flexible. He's very flexible.
No, I told you. I just do the same thing as Chief.
You're not. Yeah, no. Everyone take a moment to have a mental picture of that.
Well, Jordan, is the poison oak growing over there in your area?
Not yet, luckily.
Go rip that vine off the tree in your backyard.
Yeah.
Go to town.
Yep. Oh. Yeah.
Some point in the podcast, I want to ask Thomas. I want to a very specific question about Virginia and related to Golden Boy. It doesn't have to be now, but before we get off.
All right.
Do we want? Okay.
Let's just go now. Go ahead and answer it.
Okay. All right. So, for those of you that are listening, one of my main hunting partners is Aiden. We call him Golden Boy. And so he has met this young lady that he is falling head over heels in love with. And she lives down in Florida, and she's a marine biologist. And Aiden's, he's known her all the way growing up, and so he knows this girl really, really well. And so he went down there to visit. And Aiden's been wanting, ever since I've met him, he's wanted to go live in Wyoming, right? He wants to hunt big game. He wants, that's like his dream. And so he goes down to Florida, and he has this big conversation with this girl. And he's like, well, I got to figure this out now because this thing's getting pretty serious pretty fast. And so he's like, well, we got to talk about this if we really get serious living things. I don't want to invest all this time because I'm not moving down to Florida where you live because I'm just not going to live there. And so the compromise they kind of came to was that she would be willing to move north up the East Coast, but still be on the ocean, though at least he would have seasons. And so something like Virginia, North Carolina is kind of where if they got really serious, where they would talk about. Now, Virginia and Wyoming, pretty big difference. Pretty big difference on population density. I mean, pretty big difference. So my question to Thomas is, Thomas, you know Aiden. What are your thoughts about hunting overall in Virginia? You've been to Kansas. You're probably somewhat aware of what Wyoming would be like. What would your advice be to Aiden of like, okay, Aiden, here you are for the next 3 years. Now, in their talk, they did say, well, maybe after a couple of years, she gets to do her marine biology thing for a few years, and then maybe they move. But what would your advice? What are your thoughts on the prospects of Aiden moving to someplace like Virginia? Would the opportunities of the wildlife in that area satisfy him? Just any thoughts you have on that idea?
I think if she's going to have a position for marine biology, I would assume it would have to be kind of close to the coast. Where I live is like 2 hours from the coast, and even out here, the big game hunting is pretty much just deer with a little bit of bear. So he would have to kind of go into. He would, in terms of kind of getting anywhere near the remoteness or the wildlife or anything like that someplace out west could offer, he would have to go towards southwestern or very far western Virginia, 3 to 4 hours from the coast, unfortunately, because the eastern part of Virginia is very much very populated, and two, it just doesn't have hardly any public hunting land. The public hunting lands are extremely overcrowded. There's a lack of wildlife. So the hunting in eastern Virginia is very, really poor. There's really good fishing, amazing saltwater fishing in the Chesapeake Bay, but the duck hunting isn't good except for really sea ducks. I mean, you can have good duck hunting, but I'd say in terms of if you were to assess Virginia as a whole, eastern Virginia is probably the worst duck hunting. Like I said, public lands for any sort of big game are just really tough. So I would advise him probably, if he can find a place, if he can get her to move somewhere like Charlottesville, somewhere in like maybe the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, that would probably give him what I think he would find to be a suitable environment. I think he would really find himself upset if he were to be living in eastern Virginia, maybe even central Virginia. And northern Virginia, he needs to stay away from that at all costs. Northern Virginia is, in terms of hunting and fishing, the hellhole of the United States, probably.
Wait, are you allowed to have guns in Virginia though?
Only if your name is not Aiden. We'll see.
So
the laws are ever. Yeah.
When I think of Virginia, when I think of East Coast, when people think of Kansas, think of like plains and nothing. When I think of East Coast, I think of wall-to-wall people. when you get into Virginia, and if you're on the coast or on the ocean, even when you have hunting spots, are there areas there that you actually can feel like you're isolated, or you always kind of feel like you're right around the corner from a metropolitan area?
The eastern shore of Virginia might be his best bet in terms of feeling isolated. Like, the eastern shore of Virginia is a pretty poor area. There hasn't been a lot of development, not a lot of population growth. So it is still a very rural area. There are parts of the eastern shore that are really cool, and really kind of far out there. But there's still not a lot of public land over there. I think he'd be really disappointed with the amount of public land Virginia has in terms of duck hunting habitat, especially, or just habitat in general in the eastern part of the state. It's really lacking. I mean, the eastern shore of Virginia has 3 WMAs in total, and most of those are pretty much salt marsh or kind of small, like forest, basically areas that a deer live. So out there, his only hunting options would be duck, geese, or just waterfowl in general, and then a deer and maybe dove. So there's not a lot of diversity out there in terms of wildlife to hunt.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounds good.
I mean, Virginia just doesn't have a lot of
talking about.
Yeah, I would say if he's going to look in terms of the eastern U.S., maybe somewhere like New York or Pennsylvania. I don't know if that would be too far north, but those tend to offer a little bit better hunting opportunities, public hunting opportunities, big game opportunities, probably better waterfowl in terms of New York. I'm not sure about Pennsylvania, but New York for sure. North Carolina, if he's moving somewhere just based off waterfowl, North Carolina is the waterfowl mecca of the East Coast. They kill 3 times as many birds as any other state. So
North Carolina, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, North Carolina has a lot of good duck hunting. A lot of it is a very good private duck hunting. The public duck hunting can be hit or miss, and they still have kind of the same blind laws that Virginia has. That's the thing that really hamstrings Virginia. We have thousands of miles of rivers, and you can't hunt them. They're all privately owned in terms of duck hunting rights. So there's a lot of water. There's a lot of water you can ride around on and go see ducks on, but you're not legally allowed to hunt there.
Gotcha. Because he had mentioned North Carolina and Virginia both. I knew South Carolina here is terrible, so I kind of assumed North Carolina wasn't very good either. So that's good to know about North Carolina. That was a place they had mentioned also.
Yeah, North Carolina is definitely the duck mecca, and they have, I'd say, probably better public deer and turkey hunting than Virginia still. There's always trout fishing, inland fishing, really good saltwater fishing in North Carolina. So if you could find somewhere on the North Carolina coast, like the northeast coast of North Carolina, I think you'd be really happy there in terms of waterfowl.
Okay, great, cool. Thank you for the information.
How about Maine?
Yeah, no worries. I don't know a lot about Maine. I know there's sea ducks up there.
I think if I was going to live on the East Coast, I would definitely pick Maine. It's just, I don't know. I've seen videos from up there, and it's like, it looks like it's still very, very wilderness and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. It looks interesting.
I just feel like the duck hunting in those northern states is just so different. Like, just to be shooting birds in like strictly September, October, November versus December and January, I feel like I have to become so accustomed to that. It would be weird for me to be done after November.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, definitely a state I'd love to visit, though.
Yeah, for sure. I got a friend that lives up in Maine. Contact.
In terms of wilderness, no other eastern seaboard state comes close, for sure.
Interesting. I could not see Aiden as a city boy.
Yeah, selfishly, I hope that he doesn't live out there.
So this is the same girl as the school bus video, I'm assuming, from the description?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think their chemistry was definitely palpable in that video, so that does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, they're smitten.
So I think where we left off is we're talking about what we got coming up. So Thomas, you got plans for turkey hunting this year?
They're kind of up in the air right now due to the fact that I might not have college for the rest of the year. I might have college. It kind of depends. I was ramping up for turkey season where I go to college, which is about an hour west. So those plans have kind of changed. But yeah, I'm planning on if I'm not in college, I'm going to go every single day I can. I'm really not good at filming turkey hunts, but I'm hoping that if I go on enough, I'll be able to improve my craft and eventually get them to where I'm kind of happy with them, like I am with my duck hunting business.
Awesome. What are the chances you don't have college? Thomas, what are the chances you don't have college? Looks like we lost Thomas, I guess. Matt, you still there?
Matt still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. I don't have college. I can tell you that for a fact.
So, you got any plans for? We'll just jump to your turkey plans, Matt. I know we talked about this a little bit, but you gonna try to get a different species turkey this year?
Well, we've got 3 of them in Nebraska. We've got Rios, Easterns, and Merriams. And I shot 2 of them last year, the Eastern and the Merriams. The Rios are kind of harder, just because they're more in like south central Nebraska, and I don't really know that area too well. And there's there's some like hybrids and stuff, so it's kind of harder to pick out a Rio. But if I don't take my bow out, I am gonna try to get one with 3 different guns. I got my 28 gauge, I got my 12 gauge, and my 20 gauge. So I'm gonna try to shoot a turkey with each one, or I might just try the 28 gauge after I get one with it. But
Awesome.
I'm really itching to get that thing out.
Yeah, that's cool to see that you're kind of getting to the challenge hunt game a little bit.
No.
Oh no!
You know what you should do, Matt?
I'm not gonna
you should try to shoot one left-handed with a mirror behind your back.
Yeah.
You have to throw the gun up first and do like a twirl with it.
Or just run after the turkey with the gun and hit it with it.
Now, first you got to shoot a hole through the ice before you can shoot the turkey.
Super inside joke.
I think that's the best way to do challenge videos. I'm no expert on them, but okay. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, then after that, we've got a trip Elliot and I do up to the Sandhills once again. We're gonna go do some pike fishing. That was really fun when I finally caught a pike last year. So I'm kind of addicted to that now. Those things are fun.
Yep, that's a great trip.
Yeah, I definitely wish I was closer, so I could get in on something like that. But the amount of vacation days I got to save for regular season, I guess a pike isn't a duck, so that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. They are an awesome fish.
Yeah, no, I would love to. All right, real quick, we got to go ahead and get Thomas back in here. So hang with this live stream. If this is the podcast, then this is edited out anyway. So, all right, here we go, Matt. Just hang on tight. Get Thomas back in here.
Hi, this is Thomas. Sorry I missed your call.
All right. Well, I guess I'll call him back again. Elliot, why don't you tell something to the people?
Okay. Well, let's see. I'm trying to blink.
That's unusual.
I know. It really is. Corn Frank called me today. That was funny. He pretended he was some Asian guy on Craigslist trying to sell me a lava lamp.
You fall for it?
And I almost fell for it because I
Hi,
thought
this
he
is Thomas.
float.
Oh.
Is he there?
No, that was his answer machine.
No. So I thought he said floating raft, but he said lava lamp because he was speaking in this thick Asian accent. One might say racist. I don't know. But I thought he said floating raft. Well, I have a floating raft in my basement. It's my dad's. And it's like one of those blow-up kayaks.
Yeah.
So when he said floating raft, I thought, well, maybe my mom, put this thing on Facebook and put my phone number on it, right? And so he had me, and then he just messed up on the accent just a touch on about the third sentence, and I heard it was him. I was like, oh, that's corn. But he almost had me.
All right. Do we got Thomas in here? Oh, let's get you over here. Is this not your phone, Thomas?
No, this is my computer. Will it work?
It does not look like it will.
Okay. Yeah, give me 1 second. My phone died on me. I didn't realize it was low.
It died on you? Here, let's
Yeah,
maybe we'll
I can just put it in the chat once it's charged back up. It should be good here in a minute.
okay. Yeah, just let me know.
All right. Yeah, I'll hop back in when. Yeah, give me a second. All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
Am I live?
You are live. we lost Thomas though to the dead phone, so you're gonna have to
All
carry
right.
the show.
No pressure.
Alrighty, so just a little update. We lost Thomas. His phone died, so Matt's gonna carry on the show here. So yeah, let's go ahead and you got anything to add on to your turkeys?
Well, I've already started scouting them. Actually, today I've seen about 15 in the middle of a road, and there was a couple toms strutting, so they're getting in the mood. I'm ready.
Awesome. Yeah, I really hope you get to bow hunt them. That'll be cool to see.
Yeah, I haven't ever shot anything bigger than like a rabbit with my bow or a carp, so
Nice.
should be fun if I can actually do it.
Yeah. So there's one trip you didn't talk about that you got coming up kind of closer to like the very end of September.
Oh. I didn't know we weren't definitive in that yet.
Oh, I'm definitive.
Whew. I don't know. So for those that are wondering what Jordan's talking about, he's trying to get me to go up to the Michigan opener with him in late September. And I don't know if I can swing it. I don't know if I'll have enough leave or money. So we'll see.
Man, excuses.
How many days did you hunt this year?
He said 60.
60. Okay. Not enough leaves.
Well,
All right. that excuse isn't holding ground.
Yeah.
See, my sister is having a wedding in January, so I've got to burn some of it on that now. I'll throw her under the bus. That's okay.
Yeah, that's what sisters are for.
See, but that's not till the next year. Everybody does their leave calendar years, right?
Well, I don't know.
That's a yes.
I've got to build it back up.
All right. Well, no one's forcing you to kill ducks. If you want to stay home and pick daisies, then. Yeah.
I
So.
was thinking about going to Kansas to teal hunt that weekend.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Bring it on down.
I've been there once. The teal hunting's a little meh.
You just got to go at the right time.
Yeah, like September, because that's when I was there. Like opener. Yeah, no, it was a good time in Kansas. I'm just giving you a hard time. Well, hopefully we can convince Matt. If everybody in all of his videos for the rest of the season comments that for the rest of off season, telling Matt to go to the Michigan opener, that'd be great. So that's your guys' your guys' job for the rest of the off season.
I'll make a deal. If I hit 10,000 before September 1st, I will go to the Michigan opener with you.
And if you don't,
We won't.
I won't.
That's
Yeah.
how it works, Jordan.
well, you're not going to hit it though.
That's because he doesn't want to go. He's just being nice.
All right.
Well, see, now you've got a conundrum here, Jordan. You've got to either root for me to hit 10K so I go to Michigan with you, but if I hit 10K before you, you have a pink beard when we go hunt in Michigan.
Yeah.
You don't like the idea I spun? I don't think I told Elliot this. Elliot, have you ever seen the videos where people get they get their nose hairs waxed?
Yeah.
And they just have the huge
Yeah.
wad in their nose and they just pull it out real fast?
Yes, looks excruciating.
Yeah. So I said the losers should do that, but when we have the Flyweights Collective meetup this year.
Let's double down on it. That and their butt wax.
We're not doing that on camera.
Well, we can blur that part out, blur the
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I don't trust you with that kind of video footage.
That, I'll tell you what, that nose thing looks really painful.
Yeah, I've seen grown men cry.
Why wouldn't they just use nose trimmers? Why would anyone do that? Nose trimmers work just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they lost a bet.
I don't know. Looks pretty bad.
So you don't. If you had to pick one, which would it be, Matt? The pink beard or the nose waxing?
Oh,
I think the nose waxing is more comical, and we could film it at the Flyweights Collective meetup.
I'd probably go. Well, if I lose, I'd do the nose waxing. If you lose, I want to see a pink beard.
Problem with the pink beard is permanent. Oh, can it be temporary? Or does that have to be permanent dye?
I mean, even if it was permanent, you could just dye it again, permanent black.
Well, actually, I think it'd be better if if Jordan shaved his beard. I think that'd be funny.
He would look so cute. And soft.
Yeah, that one's
Soft
off the
and cuddly
table.
like a teddy
We're
bear.
not doing shave the beard.
Where are you at? Jordan's at 7.83 thousand subscribers on his YouTube channel, Duck Gun Chronicles. Where are you at, Matt, on Hyper Sportsman?
Give me 1 second here. I am at 7.94.
Yours to lose at this point.
I mean, it's not that big of a difference. The only difference is that he actually has turkey videos, and I can only shoot one a year, and then he's going to have an awesome till season. So my prediction is going to be the only chance I have is if he doesn't get 10K by regular season, and then I'm able to do the opener tour and pull ahead and just barely close it. So I have to just vote for us to be far enough behind at 10K that I can pull ahead through the opener. Rally through that.
I'm planning on going somewhere in Nebraska for teal, I think. Not out as far west as Matt is, but I mean, we can meet up somewhere. Well, I better take that back. I may be I don't know if I can invite you or not. Sorry, forget. You're not invited, Jordan. Well, I may have to use. Well, I was going to go with the guys that Aiden went last year, and they just pounded him. And so if I go with those guys, it would be out of place for me to invite anyone else. But that's what I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. You just want Matt to win.
I just want to shoot ducks. That's all that really matters.
Yeah. Well. Oh well. But yeah. So you got any other big plans coming up the next season, Matt?
Oh, I mean, Flyways Collective, which we still have to nail down.
Oh, you didn't hear? We nailed it down.
Oh, you guys figured out where we're going?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, we didn't want to tell you. We thought we'd do it live, but we're cutting our membership down to 5.
Alaska King Eider Hunt.
Yeah. Something like that. No, we're going to Maine. No. Yeah, well, hopefully we can all get through this duck depression and get through the season. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do on this podcast is I'm going to close out with you and then get Thomas on and then close out with him too, since his phone he can only call on the computer right now. So but yeah, I guess I'll let you say any last words you got or anything.
I don't know. Without Thomas on here, I don't kind of want to make that announcement, but Jordan's been pressuring us to start a podcast, and we're kind of thinking about it. He also, I think he ripped me off on a mic he sold me, so not really sure what's going to happen on that. But yeah, that's probably one of our off-season projects we're going to work on. Chasing turkeys and fishing until September, pretty much.
Awesome.
Do you guys have a name for the podcast? Who's all going to be on it?
We're thinking Gun Duck Podcast, but no, we don't really have one yet. Like I said, we don't even know if we're 100% going to do it. I just bought the mic because I know Jordan always complains about my microphone on here, so at the very least, I'll have a good audio.
Yeah.
Jordan Thomas says his phone is back on and working now.
Okay. Well, I'm still gonna sign off with them separately at this point, I think.
Okay.
So I'll just call him back in a second. But awesome. Well, appreciate you coming on, Matt. It's always a blast. Definitely fun. We have a lot of banter together, and awesome building a friendship with you all the way across the internet, and meeting up from time to time through the year. So hope we keep that going, and good luck with your duck depression.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Awesome.
Yeah, talk to you soon about that fishing trip, buddy. We'll hammer out some details.
And real quick before we get them off, YouTube is High Prairie Sportsman. Same on Instagram and Facebook. Anything else you want to plug, Matt?
Nope, think that's it.
Alrighty. Sounds good. And don't forget, comment on his videos. Come to Michigan for the opener. So all right, Matt. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you.
We'll see you.
All right. And let's go ahead and get Thomas back on here real quick.
I think Thomas.
Phones are ringing. Let's see if we can get the Virginia boy to answer. Alrighty. Do we have signs of life?
All right.
All right, we got you back. I don't know if you heard that from the live stream, but we closed out with Matt, and then we'll close out with you as well. So.
Yep. Yeah,
awesome. We got you back. So yeah, I guess kind of to close this out, you got any big plans coming into season or through the rest off season?
Not at the exact moment. Gonna kind of play it by ear. The whole college team has been really changed in these past couple of weeks. So, you never know. Maybe I'll have some free time in September and I can come west and teal hunt for a little while. But that's the dream. As of right now, nothing besides the Flyways Collective trip, and then I'm thinking about maybe doing a trip for black duck. To specifically target them up in New Jersey sometime throughout the season. So I'm looking to get a couple people on board for that and kind of put that trip in the works.
Awesome. That's yeah. So yeah, I guess you'll have a lot more to figure out once you kind of figure out everything that's going on. So,
Yeah,
but
everything's just so up in the air right now. It's just kind of hard to put any real plans in action.
as far as the season though, going into it, you got any maybe Michigan travels in your future?
Maybe I'm looking at my college schedule for next semester, the fall semester. I could potentially only have classes on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So that opens up a whole range of like 4-day trips out anywhere I want to go, really, as long as I'm flying. So as long as I can just fly into wherever you're hunting, I'll just catch a ride with you, and you can be my chauffeur around like you were for the flyway.
Awesome. Well, we'll make it happen then. So, for sure.
Yeah. Don't hold me to anything. Don't hold me.
It's too late. I
But,
mean,
yeah.
school might even be canceled next year.
We can only pray.
I would not have any complaints if that happened. Then Elliot can join us too. They just never have school again.
Yeah.
Man, if this virus had happened during waterfowl season, oh man, that would have been sweet.
I know.
Oh man. Honestly, yeah.
We're like the only group of people that's like, oh shucks, I wish this would still happen just about 6 months later.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm trying to be the only sane person.
That, nothing big. I'm looking forward to the Flyway Collective. I'm excited to hear where our next adventure is going to take us.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be a good trip again, hopefully. We can get that nailed down here soon. We probably should. Because season will be here before we know it. But yeah, I guess this is a good spot to go ahead and close out. But thanks again for coming on, Thomas. I said this to Matt. I'll say it to you as well. But it's definitely been awesome. Making friends with people across the country, like-minded individuals and duck hunters. Doing the same stuff as us, making the YouTube videos and hardcore hunter. So, definitely appreciate that from you, and I'm glad to have you on tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. And don't forget to check out our podcast once we set that up. When that'll be. But.
Is that 100%? Because Matt said he didn't know if you guys were going to do one or not.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it in the last week or so, but like I said, I'm down if he's down. So if we can get the wheels turning on that, I think it would be an awesome project for us.
Well, I think if you actually say it at this point, there's going to be people that hold you to it. So I guess I'm going to be one of them.
Well, he already bought a microphone, so at this point, if we can, if nothing major pops up, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't.
Awesome. Alrighty. Any last words?
Nope. Virginia Outdoors Unlimited YouTube channel. I guess that's about it. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure, Jordan. Thanks, Elliot. Awesome.
You can find them over on YouTube or Facebook and Instagram as well. If you want to get some of that content to Virginia Outdoors Unlimited. Alrighty, folks. Thanks everybody for tuning in again this week for another episode of the Duck Gun Podcast. I'm Jordan from Duck Gun Chronicles, Elliot from Freelance Duck Hunting, and Thomas from Virginia Outdoors Unlimited, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Alrighty, live stream crew, thanks everybody for sticking through it, even the technical difficulties. Got a lot of the tried and true folks in here, and you guys are bearing the off season with us, so we appreciate that. So, same time next week. We'll see you guys.